Here we will see user-defined stored procedures in SQL Server. A stored procedure in SQL is a group of SQL queries that can be saved and reused multiple times. It is very useful as it reduces the need for rewriting the SQL queries. It enhances efficiency, reusability, and security in database management. User can also pass parameters to the stored procedures, so the stored procedure can act on the past parameter values. Stored procedures are created to perform one or more DML operations on the database. It is nothing but a group of SQL statements that accept some input in the form of parameters, perform some task, and may or may not return a value. The general syntax for creating a stored procedure is create procedure, then procedure name with database schema, the parameters that you want to pass, and then it starts with begin and end with end. And inside begin and end we will give the SQL statement that we want to execute through stored procedure. Here schema name is the name of the database. By default a procedure is associated with the current database, but we can also create it into another database by specifying the database name. And procedure name represents the name of the stored procedure that should be meaningful name so that you can identify them quickly. It cannot be a system reserved keyword. For example, here we have created a procedure emp list. So create procedure emp list. As begin, we will give select statement with fields employee ID, first name, last name and salary from employee and order by salary. To execute the stored procedures, we will use one of the three approach, that is exec procedure name or full execute procedure name or only procedure name. For example, to execute the procedure emp list that we have created, we will give execute emp list or only emp list. It will display the data from the employee with field employee ID, first name, last name and salary that we have specified while creating the procedure. To view the stored procedure, we will use sp help or sp help text system stored procedures that will display the text of the existing stored procedure. So if we give sp help text emp list, it will display the text for the procedure emp list, that is create procedure emp list as begin, the select statement and end. To modify the stored procedure, we will use alter procedure statement. General syntax is alter procedure, the procedure name, and we will change the select statement. And when we execute employee list procedure, it will display the data from the employee table, but here it will add new field joining date. To delete a stored procedure, we will use one of the following command, that is drop procedure, procedure name, and drop procedure with full statement as drop procedure, procedure name. Now we'll create a stored procedure in SQL Server. First we'll use database under which we are going to create the procedure. So use project 1. Here we are going to create a procedure on employee table. So first I'll display the data from the employee table. So select star from employee. And now I'll create the procedure. So create procedure emp list. Here I am not going to give any parameter. So I will directly give as, then begin, and I will give select employee ID, comma first name, comma last name, comma salary from employee. I will use order by clause with salary, and I will give end to close the procedure, and I will execute this. It will give commands completed successfully. We can check whether the procedure is created. To check the procedure created, we will open the database project 1, and under programmability, we will check stored procedure. Here the DBO employee list is created. To execute this procedure emp list, I will give execute emp list. And I will execute this. It will execute the procedure emp list and display the data from the employee table with fields employee ID, first name, last name and salary that we have specified in the employee list. Now I will use alter statement to alter the procedure. So I will give alter procedure emp list as begin, select employee ID, comma first name, comma last name, comma salary, and I will use another field joining date. From employee, I will give here order by clause for salary, and I will give end, and I will execute this. It will give command completed successfully. If I execute again the procedure, it will display the data employee ID, first name, last name, salary, and it will add new column joining date to the procedure employee list. To delete it, we will use drop procedure emp list, and I will execute this. It will give commands completed successfully. I will refresh it, and under programmability I will check stored procedure. Here procedure employee list is removed from the database.